stress actually affects us, what stress actually is, and the types of stresses and causes of stresses, the symptoms of stress, stress management, and time management also. So what the stress is? Basically, stress and anxiety, or some kind of negative thoughts, or whenever we have any kind of relative tension due to some external things, are caused when we living to please others, right? So this is the biggest cause when we want to be perfect, when we want to live the things like we want, right? So whatever happens is, whenever the situations go beyond our control, it will lead to the stress, right? So stress can be defined as the state of worry or mental tension caused by difficult situations, right? So it is a natural human response that prompts us to address challenges and threats in our life. Sometimes any kind of fear for things to happen, sometimes any kind of fear of losing our loved ones, or any kind of losing the relationships, the control over jobs, the control over studies. So anything which is what when we think we are losing, then this will lead to the stress. So whenever situation is not under our control, and rather we feel that situation is not under our control, either it is not actually in our control, or we feel that it is not in our control, then the state of anxiety causes the stress. So we want to be assertive, but we are unable to express. We keep things within ourselves, and it will lead to the stress, right? So there are just a minute. Yes. So there are some types of stresses. First is the physical stress, and second is the psychological stress, and third is the psychosocial stress, and fourth is the psycho-spiritual stress. So any kind of stress, anxiety, and whatever we feel like short of breath, etc., comes under these four types of stresses. Majorly, we can divide these types of stresses into positive and negative stresses also, but these all are the types of negative stresses that can affect our health, right? So basically, there is no such thing is a stress-free life. No evidence has been presented which suggests that a stress-free life can ever be achieved. The thing is how we manage the situation, how we understand the situation, how we live with these situations. Okay, so let us understand these types of stresses individually. First thing is the physical stress. So physical stress includes any kind of injury or any kind of trauma, infection, surgery, whatever we are, how we are taking the physical challenges on our mind. Intense physical labor or overexertion comes under this category. Environmental pollution, pesticides, herbicides, toxins, all these things when make an effect on our body, then it will lead to a physical stress. Then we have the illness, viral, bacterial, or fungal agents, fatigue, inadequate oxygen supply, hypoglycemia, like the low blood sugar, and hormonal changes, dietary stress, dehydration, substance abuse, and dental challenges, etc. So these are the things which actually affects on our body. and the any kind of pain or any kind of changes or any kind of challenges physically, when we found out, it will automatically reflects in our mind also. So next type is the psychological stress. So this may include the emotional stress, some kind of resentment, fears, frustration, sadness, anger, grief, uh, any kind of thing which we should consider, or we should take into this psychological kind of changes into humans behavior, right? So next thing is the cognitive stress. Cognitive stress means information overload. Whenever we get a lot of information from various sources, and it is hard to select which to believe and which not to believe. So information overload is also a type of cognitive stress. Accelerated sense of time, worry, guilt, shame, social pressure, social media pressure, number of likes, etc. These also comes under this category, cognitive kind of stress. Resistance, attachments, self-criticism, self-loathing, unworkable perfectionism. This is most important part of psychological stress, where we want to be perfect, but it is not, sometimes situation is not sufficient, sometimes environment is not sufficient. So, and even we as human being is not perfect, then, and proving ourselves perfect, this is the biggest psychological stress. Anxiety, panic attacks, not feeling like yourself, not feeling like things are real, and a sense of out of control or not being in control. These are all the cognitive stress that comes under psychological stress. And next thing, and the last thing, is perceptual stress, that my beliefs, that my roles, I'm the boss, every person should listen to me, I have the right to do everything. If something go beyond my control, it will create stress. And whatever the stories I am living with, whatever the belief systems I am living with, whatever I have learned from my childhood, whatever I have seen in my environment, uh, my attitudes, my worldview, all the kind of things are comes under this perceptual stress, right? Next is the psychosocial stress. Psychosocial stress uh, includes relationship, marriage difficulties, partners, siblings, or children and family, employers, co-workers, etc. All these things comes under psychosocial stress. Whenever society makes an impact on human's mind, it comes under this category. So whenever we feel like we have a lack of social support, a lack of resources for adequate survival, means I'm not getting a perfect house, I'm not getting a house at the perfect location, my workplace is too far from my home, I'm spending a lot of time in traveling, and traffic during uh, my daily traveling hours. This is also create a lot of anxiety. So all these things, when we know, when we are not having the control over these situation, it will create stress. Along with this, we have a kind of situation where we have a loss of loved ones, some kind of financial loss. A huge financial loss can create, or some kind of bankruptcy can create a psychosocial stress. Home foreclosure and isolation also. People have a withdrawal kind of symptoms, social from social circles, in these kinds of psychosocial stresses. They don't want to meet people. They want to be isolated. They don't want to react even. They avoid meeting with people. So all these types of things comes under psychosocial stress. And last but not the least is a psychospiritual stress. Psychospiritual stress is when the crisis of values, meanings, and purpose is lost, right? Uh, every person, every human being has its own values uh, of survival or of being a human, right? So all these things, whenever these things are on stake, or it seems to be, or let us consider that it. But I feel that these are at stake, then it will be a stressful situation. So joyless striving, for example, instead of productive, satisfying, and meaningful and fulfilling work, I'm forced to have some kind of work. I'm forced to understand something which is beyond my values. I'm forced to believe something which is actually I don't feel like. I'm forced to do some kind of work which is not of my values or my understanding and what I have been taught for, right? So a misalignment with one's core spiritual beliefs will uh, will rise or will create these psycho-spiritual stresses. Now, next is the symptoms of stress. And improperly, ineffectively managed stress usually take a toll on the body, right? When stress-related feelings, moods, emotions are pushed into body, the following symptoms can be seen in the sufferer's body. The first and foremost thing is the anger. When situation is not in my control, the anger can happen. And anxiety, social withdrawal, loss of concentration, irritation can also be there. Upset stomach will come afterward. Sleep loss, short of breath, and headache, and many more things after this. So these are the initial, very initial symptoms of stress. There are 4 A's of stress management. First is avoid, and then we have adapt, and next is the alter, and fourth is accept. So these are globally known or universally uh, adapted 4 A's of stress management. How we can manage the stress systematically, and how we can create a complete course of or adaptability of uh, managing our stresses. So first thing is avoid. Take a control of stress that fills your day by finding ways to make a situation better, right? So in the beginning of day, or sometimes in between the day also, we have to take a control over stress, and we should note down on what are the things on which I reacted most, right? And create a distance with stressors. Sometimes it can be people, sometimes it can be the certain situation. Sometimes people also reacted on their own doings, or let us suppose that if somebody has a habit to reach late at office, and every time whenever people or management see that this person is coming late, they will prompt or they will ask that person why or the reason for coming late. And that person already knows that this happens due to some factors or some unmanageability or some unorganized life structure or delays from his own end, but still he want to justify himself, and he wants to prove himself right, So these all situations create a negative kind of circumstance. So learn and so you can create the distance with stressors means you need to create the distance of being unorganized. You need to create a distance of being unmanaged. You need to create a distance from any kind of negativity that is going in your life. So learn and practice to say no is also necessary. Sometimes some people don't want to say no and take a lot of things on themselves and want to be a most efficient one or want to be a most perfect one. So this also create a workload stress. And then next thing is alter. Respectfully ask someone to alter how they are treating you. If you don't like somebody to treat in an ill-mannered way, you need to say that I am not liking your attitude or your behavior or your way of uh, behaving with me, right? Remember to say I statements when addressing someone about how you feel. It is your take on for your life. So you need to alter the situations which are creating these stresses. And also state your limitations in advance. For example, you can say, I only have 5 minutes to talk. So you need to set your limitations, you need to set your boundaries, and you need to tell others also about these limitations you set. Next thing is accept. Third A is accept. Accept is talk with someone about how you are feeling. Call a friend, get coffee with the relative, or schedule an appointment with a therapist if needed. Otherwise, you and only you can make a change to the situation, right? If you feel light talking to someone, it is always good to talk to them. And acceptability also uh, include forgive others, forgive yourself or others. So it is important element of accepting this stressful situation. Forgiving others for their behaviors, their ill-mannered behaviors or responses, etc. And moving on is easier than sitting around stressing about the uncontrollable situations. Sometimes people have 10 to 12 years of grudges. So let go is the best solution and forgive others. It will relieve yourself. It will create you stress free. And then next is the adapt. Adapt includes don't strive for perfection. Instead, make reasonable substitutes throughout your daily life. Don't replay stressful situations over and over in your head. Choose to focus on the positive aspects of your life only. So, next thing is stress management. After learning about the 4 A's of stress management, we have to individually consider all the situations that can cause stress and how we can manage these stressful situations or circumstances. Truth is that stress does not come from bosses or kids or spouse or traffic, etc. It depends on how we are dealing with these situations, how I am going to and what are my thoughts about this situation, how I'm going to uh, understand this situation, right? So first thing is stop proving yourself perfect. I've already told you that uh, people have this habit of proving themselves perfect. So no need to be perfect. This perfection creates and or being perfect or have an attitude of being perfect creates a lot of stress sometimes. And second is to let go, be it an ego or situation or the habit or forced relationship or unwanted job or any kind of negative people around you. You let these things go and it will keep you stress free, right? Next thing is the stress management steps, or we should say how to deal with these things. First thing is avoid taking temporary solutions like process or substance addiction. People who are actually in addiction with any kind of process or substance, they want to skip from the situation using these things. Social media, technology addiction, gadget addiction are also comes under these things. So avoid taking these temporary solutions. It is always good to be with you and understand the situation. Music or walk is also a good way how we can deal with the stress. And third thing is identifying a problem. Identifying a problem means first you have to understand why this problem happened. And you have to isolate yourself from the situation and then we'll understand then why this problem happened, right? And now it will give you a more clearer approach or more uh, understanding about the real cause of problem. Okay, so on if there is a physical stress, then go on a proper medication and follow the instruction to come out of this stress. Don't delay in dealing with uh, the physical stress, and then go understanding physiological changes or symptoms after situation. For example, some situation or unwanted situation happened, and we have to understand what happened to me after that situation, right? What are the changes in my body, the changes with my mind, and how I reacted after this situation. You need to note down this thing. And what is the benefit of noting it down is after this, whenever the same situation or the similar situation occurs, you can have a control over your mind or your body. So understanding the self behavior is the most important thing. Now, next thing is identifying your belief system and understand the need of inclusion. The need of inclusion is whenever you consider yourself within the situation, how much you are controlled with your belief system, it is very important to understand. You need to understand the other's perspective also, but rarely people can do this thing. And next thing is relating with a similar situation that I have already told you, that if some similar situation happened, then you can understand and control it better if you have done this practice earlier. And discuss with your loved ones who understand your point, who can listen to you at least, and who can give you the better solutions, and who are not prompting you actually to react, who can calm you down. So these are the ways how we can manage the stress. And there are some next level management tools are there. Spend time with plants, nature, children, or pets. For example, situation already occurred. You have reacted a lot. You own the stress already. Now, after that, if you want if you don't want to happen such kind of situation again, or your reaction again, then you can spend time with plants more, or nature, or pets, or children, to cool you down, to to avoid yourself from the negative situations more, to have a positive vibration and positive environment also. And next is regular exercise and healthy diet always supports the stress management quotes. And having no expectation from your employees. There should not be any expectations from your children, your spouse, your family members, and anyone in the society. Why I'm not getting so much likes? Why I'm not getting so much subscriptions? Why I'm not getting this kind of response? Why I'm not getting the support from my boss? And why I'm not getting this thing? So there should not be any kind of expectations. And next is the work-life balance. Take small break from work, 5 minutes break, 10 minutes break. Have a deep breath. You should relax, and these small things will help you a lot to manage your stress. And then discussions and conversations we have already discussed, and writing about the situation, the way how you dealt with it every time, and notice the progress. First time I have dealt with my anger and anxiety. Second time when similar situation happened, I controlled my stress and situation. I handled the situation. And third time, I isolated myself from the situation. So you should notice the progress, how you manages the stress. And meditation also helps you a lot in managing your stress. Or at least close your eyes, pray to God, and have faith if nothing can be done to control the situation. So these are the things how you can manage your stress. So remember that there is nothing more important than you. So you are required to learn to let go. You are more important. Your health is more important. Your mental stability is more important. Your positivity is more important. Nothing more important than you. So it is important to understand your behavior towards a situation. Your talent, your ambitions, your instinct, your creativity, all are at stake if you hold these negative things with yourself, right? So let go the things. Now let's come to the time management. How we can manage the time. And time management also plays very important role in having a stress-free life. We all know about that. So how we can manage the time? So we are considering the role of time management also. On a lighter note, I have added this particular animated picture that I would like to schedule a time management seminar on my calendar as soon as I can find time to buy a calendar. Means if I don't have if I'm not getting time to buy a calendar, how I can manage the time, how I can get the calendar, how I can plan the things, how I can schedule the things, and even I am making or I'm giving the time management seminar. So this is the irony of situation we are dealing with. And next thing is, so the role of time management in dealing with stress is it increases the productivity. Of course, we all know that it always, if I have managed my time perfectly, my productivity will increase. And it reduces stress. Everything is organized, everything is managed, and I have sufficient time to conduct my sessions. I have sufficient time to complete my work. I have sufficient time even to give time to my family, to spend some time with my loved ones. So it reduces the stress. Adding value to your words and increasing the trust among the society. Time management means when I promise somebody to meet at a particular time, if I add value to my words, I'll manage to meet him, right? So it will add value to my word. It will increase my integrity. It will value my integrity and increase the trust, social trust also. And some kind of positivity will be created in the environment. It will improve my self-esteem also. It achieves a balance in life, very sorted life. If time is perfectly managed, it increases the self-confidence also and helps you to reach your goals. And then it will further manage my stress also. So time management says one thing you can't recycle is the wasted time. If you have wasted time, you cannot reuse it. You cannot recycle it. So time can be considered as a series of nows. The only time you have control over, on which you really have to do anything, is now, right? So many nows can create a particular time period, a day, or a month, and so on. So these nows, you should not procrastinate in doing things. You can manage these nows. So managing the nows is termed as time management. It involves the training one's mind for priority management, to now management, to life management. So priority, we have to decide which work has a priority over the other works, and then afterwards we will create the now management, means actually doing these works, to the life management. And these are the components of life management. Planning, first thing is the planning time, second is organizing time, and third is control. I've added only 3 components, which are the most important one. And third is the controlling time. So what is the planning time? So create a pie chart of 24-hour system and analyze how time is presently being used. So here I have created a sample one, but this is just a sample one. A lot of things we do during the time, during the day, and I have added just some things: 8 hours for sleep, and then further 8 hours for my job, and some 2 hours completely for my family. And sometimes I have added 2 hours for social media, which actually should not happen, but I have added this too, or doing some kind of work, or watching news or TVs or any kind of entertainment, and rest 3 hours for traveling. So you can alter the things as per your schedule. These are the 24 times we are having, and how we are managing these 24 hours. We need to create a pie chart for this. So, and do not merge the time slots, like sleeping time with social media. We reduce our sleeping time and spend it on social media. Family time with social media, we are sitting with family and using our phones. Traveling time with social media, you can have a deep breath exercise. You can even you can read some kind of book, or you can use some kind of knowledge uh, while you travel. So do not merge these time slots. Keep cutting out your non-productive time slots. So you have to see if anything, any non-productive time is there, or you feel I'm not very productive, or I'm not very um, creative in this time, then you need to cut it out, and reduce the time spending slot on repeatedly checking, scrolling social media or emails. Day planning should map with the month planning. So these are the 24 hours, and I have 24, I have 30 such pie charts, and we need to map it with the month planning. So for example, I have started to write a book, or I have started to do some kind of work, or making a project. So I will spare 1 or 2 hours for this project making exercise, and these 30 project making exercise will result something. So we have to see how this day planning will map with the month planning, and it will further map with the bigger time planning to complete the bigger task, right? So divide these tasks into subtasks and assign time limit to subtasks, right? Every day I have spared 1 hour for this project making exercise, and at the end of month I'll have 30 hours, 30 big hours for my project making exercise, and it will give a fruitful result. So you have to plan, and you have to divide your task into this, and for completing these types of things, if you are not actually doing, or if you are not actually completing these tasks on time, it will create, at the end of 30 days, it will create a stress. And then you have to feel anxiety and sleepless nights, and results are not there. Many things will generate after that. So planning time is the most important thing. And then next thing is organizing time. Now you are actually going to work on this. One should keep an attitude of being organized. Organizing your workspace, organizing your rented house, even rented house, organizing your own house, or there should, everything in life should be organized. And these organizations take a small time every day, so that we should not spare much time at once after many days. So delegation is also important. Delegation is a means of getting greater results to people for better time management. So it's a way of exercising control and meeting your own responsibilities more effectively. And third thing is controlling time. So controlling time means how we are going to work on these already planned and organized time schedules. So how I am actually controlling my time. Desk calendar. You can create the desk calendar. It can be a useful tool for noticing deadlines, the due dates for reports, and items requiring supervisory flow through, etc. Next thing is to-do list. So in the beginning of day, you can create a to-do list. So a list for things to do for every day and week is a valuable aid for managing one's time. Put at least 8 to 12 items or your things in to-do list. Otherwise, Parkinson laws will take over. That is, work will expend itself with the time. Right? So whenever you have different tasks and you have given some time to these tasks, if you do not perform your task, or if you do not do your task in these time slots, it will automatically cover your work will cover your time period. So it will be very stressful after that, right? And third thing is a procrastination, which is the most important one in this, in controlling your time schedule. So habit of putting off tasks which you feel is unpleasant, difficult, or makes you feel indecisive is procrastination. It's like a virus which is difficult to be healed, removed, and quarantined if you resist your resistance is. You should understand that you have to manage now. Now means you are not going to make any kind of delay in doing this task. You must set deadlines on all the objectives and priorities. Use reminders and reward yourself when even small accomplishments are there, right? So these are the ways how we can control the time. So there are some tips, time management tips, which we can use. Plan each week to set goals with the time limits. Set one important objective each day and achieve it. Also, I remember some very beautiful thing that being unreasonable is also a very good thing to do every day. One unreasonable task you need to perform so that you can feel good about that task. Unreasonably helping someone, unreasonably doing a task for someone when it is not your task, but doing some kind of task for someone, unreasonably managing your space, right? It is not the specific time slot you have given, but unreasonably you cut down your entertainment time and you are managing something. So these are the very good things to perform once in a day, right? And next thing is keep a study time log of how you study and evaluate how you utilize your time. Any kind of learning something new will help you to evaluate how you have utilized your time. And track what you do and eliminate the unnecessary, of course. Schedule your day, but factor in time for unexpected also. You need to understand something can unexpected can happen, and you don't need to feel anxiety or stressful in this situation. You have managed your time, and it's fine if something happens. I will see, right? Ensure that first hour of your study day is productive. So any kind of learning, if you have, then the first hour should be the most productive one. Aim to do it is correctly the first time, so it is to avoid repeating, and set aside a quiet hour per day for me time also. Me time is a very wonderful time. You can creatively use these things on your hobby things, on spending time with nature, uh, or just walk. So this should be your me time. Develop a habit to complete a task before starting a new one. You should not leave the things whole half-hearted, right? So everything should be completed. So this is all from my side. If you have any question, you are welcome.